Second is taking donation from and donating to non-Muslims. And this is usually a question that comes a lot about, can I donate? Can I pay charity for non-Muslims or non-Muslim organizations? So, taking donations from non-Muslims, of course, it's acceptable, unless the money is known that it is from purely haram source. Like the money is coming from drugs, or the money is coming from laundry, or the money is coming from corruption, or the money is coming from all of these haram sources, then we cannot take that money as a donation. And there is a difference about whether the interest money can be taken as donation or cannot be taken as donation. If the source of money is doubtful source, then it's acceptable to take that money as a donation, as it's on them. So sometimes the people who are donating, they are trading in things, and they have their account they have in the bank, so they are taking some interest on their money, or whatever they are doing is doubtful, is mixed between halal and haram. For Muslims to take these donations from them is acceptable because it's the general transaction that is coming to the Muslims, so that is donation, that's acceptable. As for that, it's on them. How do we know about that? Allah mentioned about the Jews in Medina. كانوا لا يتناهون عن منكر فعلوه. No, the other verse, which is وأخذهم الربا وقد نهوا عنه. They used to take riba, interest, although they were prohibited from. That's about the Jews. The Jews were in Medina with the Prophet ﷺ. So the Jews used to be the ones who used to take riba, interest. Yet the Prophet ﷺ used to take from them the money for the country, for the support of the Muslim country. So that's where the scholars said, if this is the case, then you can take from the money of the non-Muslims, whether it's a tax, whether it's a donation, whether it's in any form, because the Prophet ﷺ took the Jews' money when they were living in Medina with him. And although they usually used to have interest, still the Prophet ﷺ took from them the money. Okay? Collective opinion of scholars that donations can be paid to non-Muslims. You can donate to the Muslims. And the Prophet ﷺ said, in every wet kidney, there is a reward. في كل كبد ربة أجر. So if you help, support any creature, the Prophet ﷺ said, wet kidney, it's like alive. If you fed a bird, you take reward or not? Of course. Anything that is alive and you give them support, you give them food, you give them anything, you take reward by Allah Azza wa Jal. What about the human beings? So donating to the human beings, so long as you are knowing that your money is being used in the right direction, not donating to them and the money will be taken for drugs or for buying alcohol or for any of these. But donating for them to buy them some food, to support them in their life, for their needs in their life, that's acceptable. Like donating, for example, for those who are disabled, those who are on cancer, donating for them is acceptable. But you cannot pay the zakah for them. You cannot pay the zakah for them. So zakah is almost no argument about zakah, except some, like for example, some countries who have a big portion of their citizens as non-Muslims, they sometimes are inclined to pay zakah even for the non-Muslims, based on like the dhimma people, those who used to be under the protection of Islam. In some cases they used to be paid zakat from the zakat money. So that's how they build that concept of, yes, they can pay the non-Muslims. The categories, the 8 categories of the zakah, it can take one under non-Muslims category, which is al-mu'allafati qulubuhum, those who you want to incline their hearts towards Islam. It can be that you end up paying for non-Muslims because you are willing for them to become Muslims. So you are getting them to Islam. Zakah is not permissible to be paid to non-Muslims, and so we can pay from our donation, but we should not pay from our zakah to any non-Muslim. So we can take, so long as it's not coming from purely haram source, we can give so long as it's not from the zakah. Any question?
Just a question. So with the category that you mentioned, those that you want to entice towards Islam, how would you define that? Is it based on your intention? Is it based on their need? Is it based on...
Usually it's based on you see in them some inclination. Okay. And then you support that inclination. It's not an open. So you see someone who is not interested in Islam, you don't give him. But you see someone who's asking questions. Well, I'm comfortable about Islam, and I really think that Islam is... So with that, you have some money from the zakah, and you see that he is struggling with his rent or with paying, you just give him from the zakah in order to incline his heart more towards Islam. Yes?
I just want to ask, taking charity from non-Muslim, is it acceptable for a Muslim to take charity from, the Salvation Army?
Is it acceptable to take charity from the Salvation Army? Based on this, yes, it is. Okay? It's better to get your income from your work, as we all know as Muslims, but there is no harm of taking that charity from anywhere.